Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Hello. It's the second time we're meeting. Oh, no, not the second time. I think the third time. Yeah, but for this set of people, maybe the second time. And I'm so excited to be here. I know I can't see all your beautiful faces, but I was just going through the WhatsApp group and seeing all the names, all the beautiful names. My God, you guys have amazing names from all the Africans and all from those from Afghanistan and Pakistan. It's just so beautiful to see all the different names. Maybe I would try to get mine to give me one name, something that means something really cool. By the way, I actually have an Arabic name. It's called Medina. My dad had what's it called now? He was working with a whole lot of Muslims at the time as an oddly, and so when I was born, the governor of one of the states here in Nigeria actually gave me the name Medina. For a long time, I didn't know what it meant until I found out that it was a city in Mecca or something like that, and that I think it meant beautiful or so. I honestly do not know how true that is. So if anyone knows the meaning of Medina, please let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to know that. But I'm also open to having a new name. Like all the beautiful names I can see. Sorry if I do not pronounce your name very well. I am going to try my best. Okay. So I can see Raihan. I can see oh, she said Googling. I can see Javeria. I can see Atifa. I can see Matab. All so beautiful names. I mean, there's something so beautiful about names that I can see Farida Tijani. This is my sister's name. My sister's name is actually Farida, you know? So, yeah. All right, so let's get going. Last time we talked about burnout and there was a whole lot to unpack. Today we are talking about self-discovery. I mentioned it. Unfortunately, I couldn't follow up on the posts on the WhatsApp group. Okay. Oh, so someone's responding. In fact, it is in fact a city. It holds importance to Muslims around the world. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful to know. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's keep going. Now, self-discovery is something I had mentioned in the last conversation. And I mentioned it to say that self-discovery is not something that you can just let go. As a matter of fact, everybody's lives starts with self-discovery. Self-discovery is such an important aspect of every person's life that if you don't pay attention, you could lose yourself trying to follow your career, trying to please your family, trying to please the society, and just be someone else. Yeah. So it is very, very important that you have self discovery. Just like I was talking about a name, every name holds something. Okay, so mine says in Ethiopia, people used to call me Mallet or Mahiye, as Mahi was difficult for them. Oh, wow. Are you serious? That must be really interesting. Okay. So let's move on to the slides as we talk about self-discovery. So what is self-discovery? Now we're doing self-discovery to purpose discovery. Your purpose is tied to knowing yourself. Okay. So if you do not know yourself, you can't know what you're called to do. Every single one of us has been called to do something. There is something that you are made for. There is something that only you is designed to do. You may have many people who look like you, but they can never be you. But how do you know how unique you are if you don't discover it? Okay. So let's move on to the next part of the slide where we talk about self discovery as a whole. I hope you're ready for me today. I just hope you also have your notepads with you because as we share, the essence of WomenAscension bringing this together is to help young people around the world know who they are and stop struggling, stop trying to fit into the world, stop trying to, become like the standards of the world. Be you. Awesome. Thank you, Mayan. So be you, be confident and be okay in yourself. So let's read what is self-discovery. It says here on the screen, self-discovery is the process of introspection. And please, as we read this, I want you to pick each of you just which word sticks out for you. For every single person, I don't believe that everything I'm going to share today is for everyone. For different people at different points, you will find that thing that you're looking for that answers the question on your mind. Okay, so as you read and as we talk about it, note those things that are important to you. And if there are questions you want to ask, please begin to note them on your notepad or your notebook or whatever it is you're writing on, so that when we get to that part of questions, you can jump in. So let's go back. Self-discovery is the process of introspection and self-exploration, right? That allows individuals to uncover their true selves. It involves a deep dive into one's thoughts, feelings, and desires, and motivations. Self-discovery is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey that evolves throughout one's life. Okay, this is a whole lot to pack, right? So let's move to the next slide and then begin to break it down one after the other, all right? I hope you've picked out your favorite word from what I just read, though. If you have, make sure that you are working with that. Okay, so what keywords did we note? These are some of the keywords that I, brought out from it. Process, thoughts, feelings, motivations, introspection, self-exploration, uncover, deep dive, desires. All of these are keywords in self-discovery. Yes, mine says true self. Thank you for that. Now, what self-discovery is a journey. So when you say self-discovery, and I'm sure you must have heard a lot of people say, oh, I want to discover myself. I want to discover myself. Oh, I have discovered myself. They aren't talking about a one-time thing. Self-discovery is a continuous thing. As a matter of fact, self-discovery should start when you're with your parents. When you're living with your primary caregiver, even if it's your parents or your auntie, your uncle, whoever it is you're staying with, any family member or the society, whatever it is, you should start to discover yourself when you're very little. So I'll tell you a bit about Nigeria. Nigeria is a West African country in Africa. And one of the things that happens here is that as a child is born into an African home, one of the things that you take on is a name. The next thing that is done for you is a culture. So you find that some parts of Nigeria, there are people who have tribal marks. I mean, way back in the time, you would see people would have tribal marks, different types, So they would have marks, just one. Some would have two. Some will have on the side. Some will have under their lip here, while some will have, just, my mom has one just across her cheek, and all of that. Well, we didn't get any tribal mark because our parents were exposed and then they, left for the city. So we didn't get the, how do I put it? We didn't get the luxury, or we didn't have the opportunity to have tribal marks. But I wouldn't have wanted a tribal mark anyway. I like the way my face looks without anything, okay? But tribal marks were the ways people could tell where you were from. So even if we didn't speak the same language, once a person sees your tribal mark, they are able to know where you're coming from. They are able to understand and say, okay, oh, this person is from here. This person is from there. Oh, this person is from here. And so that's the same thing with self-discovery. Self-discovery, there is something about you that stands you out. There's something about you that makes you you. It is that thing that we're trying to find out. And because for different situations, there are different things, okay? So Mayin, for example, when she was a younger person, may have experienced something else that made her believe that this is who she is or who she was. Now, the older she gets, she would encounter something else, like let's say having a child, for example. She would encounter that, and then it will not be a situation of, oh, okay, there are things about me, that I now understand. There are things about me that I know that I now understand. So I don't think I'm that person. I think I'm this person, which is why I say to you that self-discovery is a continuous journey. It's a journey. There's no destination, okay? For every point you believe you know yourself, there's always another point where there's something else. However, every one of us must have a foundation of self-discovery, which is what we're going to do today, okay? I hope you're with me. If you're with me, drop your favorite emoji. Let's know how many people are here and talking with us. Just drop your favorite emoji. Yay, I see you all. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So one of the ways that, I want to say that, self-discovery is, like, for example, the question says, do you know you? How much of you do you know? So I'll start by answering first, and then I would, wait for anyone else to answer the question in the comment section. do you know you? I would say that to a certain level, I do, right? I honestly do not trust myself in certain situations because I haven't been in those situations before. However, I know the foundation of who I am as a person. I know my values, and I also understand what I stand for. And because I understand what I stand for, I believe that whatever situation I'm in, I should be able to be my true self. Okay. So, how much of me do I know? If I was to rate it over 100%, I honestly do not know how much to rate myself. Okay. Because life is a journey. And so, self discovery is also a journey. So, I want you to share with me in the comment section, answer the two questions. Do you know you? And how much of you do you know? So is anyone willing to, share? Mayin, is it possible for us to also have anyone who wants to share, maybe by sharing, I mean, like talking, instead of reading the comments? Okay, someone says, I don't know myself correctly. Okay, thank you for being very honest, Zoha. Thank you very much. I know myself too well enough. I'm scared of myself. Okay, okay, that's an interesting one. Janet says, I agree at Tessy with you. I know myself to an extent, but as you have mentioned, we are all, yes, we are constantly evolving. Zara says, I know well myself. Awesome. Okay. I see some pretty confident people who know themselves. That's cool to know. Anyone else? I know myself, my strengths and my weaknesses. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Isna, thank you for that. Anyone else wants to share? Do you know you? How much do you know you? One more person, and I'll just go on with the rest of it. So while we're waiting for that, let's move to the next slide. Atifa says, not enough. Okay, thank you for that. Mine, I'm still trying to be kind to myself. In a pretty proud of inner me, and I'm pretty proud of inner me and this shell of me as we grow with time. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Two people, inner you and the shell of you. I see that. I don't know enough. I know myself, but not enough. Okay. Well, I see a lot of not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. I'm not kind with myself. Faria. Did I pronounce that right? Faria. So I can see a whole lot of not enough, not enough. So what is knowing yourself enough? What marks knowing yourself enough? Okay, so let's move to the next slides and then we'll find that out. What is that thing that marks knowing yourself enough? Like, is there such a thing as knowing yourself enough? Okay, so Nafisa said, I know myself that I don't know enough of my true self. Okay. um I'm strict with myself, Tamina says, but I really like that it makes me stronger. Well, it may look like a good thing, but we'll get to that. We'll talk about it. Just discovering much of myself. I always think about people around me. Oh, okay. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so let's move to the next slide so we can get on with it. I really like all the comments coming in. I'm so encouraged. Mohammed says, I'm studying the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People in one part. Emphasize the importance of having a personal mission statement where you can list down, the core values and okay, statement has helped me a lot. Oh, awesome. Well done. Well done. I love to see when people say they are reading. Okay. So we'll talk about self-discovery, right? So what are the benefits? Because I've seen a lot of you say, I know myself, I don't know enough. So by the time we start talking, I hope you can answer the questions that you had shared with me to either correct it or, maybe have more insight. So let's keep going. Identity. Benefits of self-discovery is identity. I had mentioned earlier, when I hear Mayan, I already have an idea where Mayan is coming from. Okay. So one way or another, it ties her to identity. When I hear Tamina, I already have an idea where Tamina is coming from. So it ties her to her identity. When you hear Tessy, for example, it's probably an English name, right? So you may not really tie it to anything, but you also know, okay, this person is coming from a place where English is spoken a whole lot, right? So every time you look at yourself, there is something that you know about yourself. Identity is such a powerful tool. Knowing who you are is the singular most important aspect of anyone's life, which is what self-discovery is basically about, is knowing who you are, identity, what identifies you. So if I ask you, who are you? What are you going to tell me first? What's the first thing that will come to your mind if I say, who are you? Let's give that a test. Who are you? I'm not going to answer, because if I answer, you have an idea how to answer it, so I won't say anything. So who are you? If I meet you on the road, I meet you somewhere, or I'm having a conversation with you, like how you see on LinkedIn, I get a lot of requests. Okay, Zara says I'm a kind person. Okay, I get a lot of requests and says, oh, I want to be friends with you. I want to be friends with you, or I want to connect with you. The first thing I do is I go check out who that person is. I want to see what the person looks like, first of all. I want to know where they live, where they have schooled. I am kind and strict. Okay, I see that. So if you meet someone and I say, oh, hi, Tamina, my name is Tessy. Who are you? And you're like, oh, I'm Tamina, I'm kind and strict. Okay. Zara says, and I'm hardworking. Oh, okay, you're a kind person and you're hardworking. I see that. Thank you for responding. So when I go to people's LinkedIn profiles, what I'm looking out for, the first thing I go to look out for is not what you've achieved. I don't look for that. Okay. This person says, Navonin says, yes, very important. Who is that person that wants to connect with you? Yes. Farida says, I feel like the first thing that comes to my mind is name and country. Okay, yes, identity, name and country. Yes, that's very basic, and you're right. I'm a social person and friendly. Okay, thank you, guys. You guys are doing awesome. Oh, wow. Interesting. I'm liking the response. Okay. So when I go to your LinkedIn profile, I'm looking at who you are. I'm looking at where you're from. I'm also looking at what you stand for, which is why I go to, your biography, or, what you've written in your profile about yourself. That is what interests me, because if I know what you stand for and what is important to you, I can immediately tell if we can connect or we can't. Right. Which is why it's important that when you're writing or putting up stuff on your, on what's it called now, on your LinkedIn, you have to ensure that you're putting truly what you stand for. Don't just write big things and big stuff because you want people to see you as that. Eventually, people will connect with you based on who you are. There are people who would not like you because of what they've seen about you. That's fine. Everybody can't like you. There's a saying we have in Nigeria. It says, you are not jollof rice. So jollof rice is a meal, Nigerian jollof rice. So if you're good with social media, you would have heard about Nigerian jollof rice, okay? So there's a thing about Nigerian jollof rice. They say you are not Nigerian jollof rice. You can't please everybody, because Nigerians love Nigerian jollof rice. Trust me, we love it. Every time, every week, at least one family is having jollof rice somewhere. If I go for a party and there's no jollof rice, I'm asking like, what's up, what's going on? There has to be Nigerian jollof rice, okay? So you find out that, you say you can't please everybody. You're not Nigerian jollof rice. So I want you to use that the next time you're talking to someone who feels like they got to please everybody. Just tell them, hey, Tessy said you are not Nigerian jollof rice, so you can't please everybody. So feel free to ask them to go and Google what Nigerian jollof rice looks like, and maybe even attempt to cook it. Okay, so let's go back to self-discovery. So mine said how open and humble the person is by his or her affiliations. Awesome. Yes, that's true. I'm a little bit kind and complicated. Okay, that's intense, but I like. I'm a compassionate, flexible, and lifelong learner. That's so good to hear. That's so good to hear. Social person as well. Awesome. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, mine. Sorry, guys. I have to suspend for a bit. I know you guys are like, oh, time, but I need to say this. I tasted biryani and I loved it. There's this party we had sometime, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago. A friend took us to a restaurant. It was meant to be, I can't remember, I can't remember the kind of restaurant it was, but basically it was sort of an Asian restaurant in a way. And then they had on the menu biryani. And that's what I just went for, because that was the closest. I saw naan bread and garlic something. And I was like, I don't know what that tastes like. So let me go for something that has meat. And so I went for biryani and I loved it. Absolutely. So yes, if you're anywhere in the world, I support you too. I love biryani.
That was
also
so lovely.
Yeah, biryani, Rita, and garlic bread with rice kebab. Oh, you guys are oh my, why are you doing this to me? I want to focus. I want to focus. Okay, so back. I am focusing now. All right. I am not going to get distracted by biryani anymore. Now back to what we were saying. So identity is that, okay? That's how important identity is. Can we please put our microphones on mute? There's someone who is speaking. We can hear you. Please mute your microphone. Do we have that?
Hello?
Mayan, I think someone's microphone is on. I do not know who that is.
No, we're good now. I've just muted. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you. So back to identity. Thank you guys for sharing that with me. I will still come back to this biryani talk, but for now, let's focus on identity, okay? So identity is such an important thing. That's one of the benefits. As you get to know yourself, you get to find out who you are, okay? You get to find out, this is who I am, and I stand for this, okay? I don't know if you've seen The Greatest Showman, where the song This Is Me, I am who I'm meant to be, this is me, oh. The Greatest Showman is a very beautiful movie about how there were different people who were low life in the society, and somehow they came together, created a show, and there was a lady who was full bearded and everything, but yet they were able to own who they are. And that's one of the benefits of self-discovery. Okay, so let's move on. What's the next benefit of self-discovery? It improves your confidence. Oh, when you know who you are, it improves your confidence. Ask me why I'm very confident talking with you. I probably have less than 5 Nigerians who are listening to me right now. I'm currently in Nigeria. I live here, in the city capital. And I am here sharing things with people who are across the world, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Botswana, in Zimbabwe. I'm talking to people from different parts of the world. Yes, I'm so confident. It's because I know who I am. I can talk to you about these things without even looking at my notes. As a matter of fact, I'm not looking at my notes right now. Although I have with me my notes, because sometimes I want a fact and I do not want to mix the fact up, so I will use my notes. But however, I'm confident. Why? Because to a certain level, I know what I can do. Any speech or any area I do not understand, I don't delve into it. I don't talk about it. However, because I have spent some time saying, okay, this is what I know, I have talked about this a lot, I do know what I'm saying, which is why I can speak to you and you can resonate with me. That's the benefit of self-discovery. You're not shaky. You're not second-guessing yourself. You're just, you know who you are, okay? Now, another benefit of self-discovery is it builds resilience. I know who I am, and so I can push forward for what it is I want. There was a time in my life where I wasn't sure who I was because I had very low self-esteem. Those days, I had very low self-esteem. I'll give a description of myself when I was in secondary school. Okay, don't laugh. If you laugh, I will tell Maggie not to give you this participation certificate. Okay. So I was quite little. So while I was in primary school, I was really small. I was really, really small. But what saved me was that I was super smart. So I would always be in front of the class. I would either be class captain or assistant class captain. Okay. And you know that girl in class, if all of you can go back to your primary school or anything, any form of education you had, you remember that person who always gets all the answers right? The one who always seems to know everything or gets everything, the one who the teacher gives the chalk or the pen to write on the board, that was me, right? So I literally had a lot of enemies, if we put it that way. So I was really small, and then I wasn't picked on because I used to beat boys. Yes, boys that would come at me in primary school, I would beat them because I didn't like being bullied. My dad gave me so much confidence as a child. I don't know where I got it from. However, as much as I was this little girl who didn't like being bullied, by the time I got to secondary school, I realized that I was trying to belong. So there were this set of girls. Everyone has those set of girls in school who dress a certain way. Their dresses are, shorter than everyone else's. They look like all the guys want to hang out with them when we're having school parties or prom or anything like that. They want to be around them, So the rest of us were the geeks. So we didn't used to get much of anything. We just used to hang around each other, So I started wanting to belong. And so that made me start to lose who I was. And I started trying to be that. I mean, peer pressure, it happens to every one of us, even in our adult stage. And so as we kept going, I realized that by the time I was done with secondary school, I wasn't sure who I was anymore. I wasn't sure who I was. I had deviated so much. It took a whole lot for me to begin to rediscover myself and become comfortable. And I dare to tell you that I fully recognized who I was by the time I was married. Yeah, because all through the other times, I was trying so hard to fit in. I was trying so hard to please everybody and all. But now I know who I am. I understand why I have the giftings that I have. I understand myself as a person. And I know that no matter how long it takes, I'm going to get there. Remember the last time, if you were here, I shared with you that I had a dream of speaking on the UN podium one of these days. And mine said that, she was going to connect me with someone. And I know that this may take a while, right? But I also believe that this is me. And so no matter what it takes, I would stay here until I get it. Okay, so let's see what I hated public speaking. I loved speaking alone. My dad made me speak in front of public school opening speech on my Independence Day. I was in grade 3. I still feel like that knot in my tummy and how my hands were shaking. I was not good at all in expressing my thoughts in public. Now I just know how to speak my mind. That's it. That's self-discovery. It's a journey that you went on, and here you are now. You see, so that's the thing. It may not be so, easy in the beginning, but eventually it gets there. So benefits of self-discovery builds resilience. Another benefit is it clarifies your values. You are able to know what your values and what your values aren't. So this is a very sensitive thing I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it because I believe it's going to help a lot of us who are here, especially when it comes to integrating and working with other people from different cultures. Growing up, I always thought that Muslims wear the hijab and all of those things because of their of their culture, of their religion and what they believe in and all. I used to wonder, why can't you just wear clothes like the rest of us? But as I grew older and I began to read a lot and integrate with a lot of people, I actually realized that the reason why, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I found out was the reason for the being covered up is to protect you as a woman. You shouldn't be everywhere. You should not be, there are parts of your body that shouldn't be seen because it's holy, it's sacred. And that cuts across every religion and every culture. The body is the temple of God. You can't just, display it everywhere and anyhow you want. And so I realized also that it was a culture. So right now, I have quite a number of friends who are Muslims, and I look forward to getting my own hijab because I love the hijab. I love there's something they call it now. I can't remember. Is it abada here in Nigeria? They call it or so. There's this very flowing dress. It looks really pretty and all. Whenever I travel to the Middle East sometime in the future, I know I'm going to get a lot of those. So when you know who abaya, yes, thank you very much for correcting me. So that's the thing with knowing yourself. It clarifies your value. So you don't go as someone who is from a particular culture and you're trying to be somebody else's culture. Say you travel to America and you want to dress a certain way. It's okay to dress according to the weather. However, trying to belong to somebody else's culture may not be the right thing for you because your values are different. So what are your values? Which is what self-discovery does for you. It helps you discover your values. Okay, let's move to the next slide. You people have used biryani to keep me here. I will not fall for it again. Now I'm getting hungry. Okay, so let's move to the next slide and then we can get on with it. I hope we are having fun. Okay, so another benefit of self-discovery is it defines your goals. When you know who you are, you know the things you should aim for. You know the things you want to get. You know the things you should fight for. Another benefit is it uncovers your passion. You know the things that you like. The way that I speak now, I've always been let's put it this way, they used to call me a talkative. Like, this girl can talk. Like, I can talk from morning till night and I will not be tired, right? Growing up, it was a thing that was used to shame me because I used to start learning. I started trying to be quiet when I'll be in gatherings because I was afraid they would say I was a talkative. But I now realize that this gift of talking was given to me because I am supposed to be talking to a lot of people. I am supposed to be talking to the 27 people who are listening to me right now. I am supposed to be able to express myself in ways that are, So at the end of the day, I realized that my passion is directly linked to my purpose. And that's why I'm finding it easy to do what I do. Every one of us is different. Some of you may not be great at talking, but you're good at writing. Some may be good at organizing. Some may be good at dancing. Some may be good at just being able to, put things together. Anything at all. But self-discovery helps you discover that passion. Okay. Now, another benefit is it better understands your needs. When you are self-discovered, you know what you need. You're not jumping around everywhere. You're not here and there and here and there and here and there. You know what you need. Remember, not what you want, what you need. Another benefit is it increases self-love. This is amazing. When you know yourself, you love yourself. For example, I kid you not, I love me. And I'm not saying it to you because I'm trying to look good. You guys should know me by now. If I don't get it, I will tell you. I love me. And I love me because there are things about me that no one else can do, There's just that I love every bit of me. Are there parts of me that I would love to change that I'm not proud of? Absolutely. Like learning how to shut up sometimes, and just listen. Which I've had to learn because I'm a mental health counselor, okay? I'm a therapist, so I'm also a relationship and a family marriage therapist. So I also get the opportunity to listen a whole lot more than talk. Thank God for that career. Thank God for that purpose. And so it's easier for me to do, okay? So it increases self-love, right? Let's go to the next slide. Are we together? Are we learning stuff? Awesome. So I'm going to tell you a story, right? Stick with me. Now, it's called the Cleaver's Adventure. So the cleaver, as we see, is a tool that is used where? You guys tell me. Please try not to Google. Don't cheat. Don't Google. Tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when you see that image. Okay, mine says love starts from respect. Once you start respecting yourself, yes, it starts from respect. You're right. So what is the image you can see on the screen? Tell me, who wants to try? Okay, mine says so butchers. It's for butchers. Okay. Who else wants to try? Butcher. Okay. We're close. Oh, everyone's saying butchers. Okay. All right. Anyone else? One more person, and then I'll just continue with the story. Oh, okay. Zora says I agree. And also me. Okay. All right. So, well, we're all right when you say butchers. Butchers use it a whole lot. Endurance of the wood. Okay. Can I second guess? Yes, you can, Mayin. Go ahead. I'm waiting. That's why you're laughing. Yes, now you said I agree. So I'm wondering what are you agreeing to? You didn't share yours. Okay, well, while mine is going to, second guess, that image you can see is called a cleaver. Okay, it's called a meat cleaver, as some may call it, or a cleaver. It's a type of equipment used in the kitchen to cut meat, especially meat that has a lot of tendon or muscle, and meat that is hard. They use it for soft meat as well, but it's a kitchen tool. Okay, now the cleaver decided that it was going to go on an adventure. It was bored, right? So it was like, okay, let me just take a trip. Now this cleaver took a trip to the carpenter's shop. The carpenter saw it, picked it up, and tried to use it in cutting the wood. The carpenter tried. He did cut quite a lot of wood. But at the end of the day, the cleaver became just blunt and just tired. And the carpenter just threw it somewhere because, it was taking too much time to do anything. So the cleaver was like, oh, well, if you don't use me, it's fine. I'm going to go find someone else. And so this cleaver found its way into the room of some girl who is having trouble with her hair and just needed to cut off the extensions. And so she sees the cleaver and she's like, oh, okay. What do I do with this? And at the end of the day, she was like, I'm trying to get this terrible extension off my hair. And so she picks up the cleaver and she tries to use this. And she actually succeeded in cutting off, it was a bit hard and it made her sweaty, and she just got so tired after she was done using the cleaver, and she was like, ah, yes, thank you for doing the work, but she threw the cleaver away. Now this cleaver is like, oh well, whatever, I'm going to find somewhere else. I'm going to find someone else. And this cleaver takes a walk into someone's house who was just trying to cut a pipe, a plumber who was trying to cut a pipe in a room, in a home and all of that. And he looks around and he couldn't find his file, and he said, you know what, I think I can use this cleaver. And then goes ahead and tries so hard to cut this pipe, And at the end of the day, the guy was really sweaty. He was tired and he threw the cleaver away. Now, this cleaver has had so many adventures. And then one day the cleaver looks at himself and says, you know what, I'm just tired. I'm rough. All sorts. I've been used for, I just feel so messy right now. Let me just maybe go back to where I'm coming from. And the cleaver found his way back into the kitchen. And the owner of the cleaver picks up this cleaver. It's like, oh, I've been looking for you. Like, where did you go? And picks up this cleaver, sharpens this cleaver, and puts a slab of big meat on the chop board and begins to cut. And my God, the cleaver is like, why does this feel so good? Like, I'm cutting the meat so easy. And the butcher used the cleaver for God knows how many hours. He didn't have to sharpen it from time to time because the cleaver was doing the job that he needed. Now, what is the essence of the story? The cleaver is built for the kitchen, for meat specifically, for onions, anything you're cutting in the kitchen, food-wise, it's built for it. However, the cleaver wanted to try something else because he felt like it was underused. You are this cleaver. You are built for something in specific. There's a purpose that you have been made for. There is something you can do that no one else can do. However, you feel like you want to be like your friend who is a public speaker. You want to be like this person who is a business tycoon. You want to be like that person. You're just like the cleaver. You're trying to find other meanings to you when there is just this one meaning. And in fulfilling and doing that one thing you've been called to do, you are living the best of your life. Guess what? If the cleaver had been used continuously by the carpenter, it would have been broken and thrown away. If it was used by the girl all the time, she would have cut herself, gotten angry, and threw it away. If the plumber had continued using the cleaver, he would have eventually thrown the cleaver away or just throw it in some dark place. But because it was being used by the butcher, exactly what it was made for, it found its place and it lived a longer life because the butcher knew what to do with it, right? The butcher in this case is God, is life, is society. The cleaver is built for a specific thing in the society. What is it that you're built for? You are the cleaver. What are you built for? What is that thing that you're called to? What is that unique thing that only you can do? You may not look like it right now, but there's something called practice. There's something called practice. There's something called development. There's something called growth. Mayin preaches that a lot with her posts on LinkedIn. There's something called development. You see her doing this and doing that. She says she's doing a lot of work. She's improving herself. So that is the story of the cleaver. Let's move on to the next slide. I hope you are able to find yourself in this cleaver story because I did before I was able to share it with you. I found myself in the cleaver, and so I've decided to stay where I am. So let's move on to the next slide. Let's keep going. Guys, are you with me? Okay, Mayin, sure.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Yay, Zara. Okay, thank you. Oh, I love the heart emoji, like a real heart. Thank you. All right. So this is me sharing my pages, right? Oh, Nafisa says, I learned good things from the story. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, this is my social media platforms. Feel free to, go over them, find various things, okay? It's basically my therapy page. So yeah, you can find a lot about it. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Energetic. Oh, nice. Oh, awesome. Good to know. So what are the hindrances to self-discovery? What are those things that will stop you from discovering yourself? Okay. Please share the links on WhatsApp. Yes, I will. Once we're done here, I will do that. Hindrances to self-discovery. So what are those things that will stop you, right, from discovering yourself? What are those things? Because every one of us has something. I look forward to when Mayan and I will come together and have like maybe a 3-day workshop or something where we spend numerous hours just basically coaching and talking and just pouring out our hearts and getting some real help, So, I look forward to that. Mine says validations. Oh, yes, you are right. Validations are one of the hindrances. Looking for validations. Okay. So let's get into it. Hindrances to self-discovery. What can hinder you from discovering yourself? Ignorance. Not knowing what self-discovery is, which is why we have put this together, not discover yourself. Okay, so ignorance is the thing. That's one hindrance. Number 2, hindrance is fear of rejection, which is what Mayan just shared. She said validations, and that's what fear of rejection causes. You are afraid of being rejected. What if I accept myself? Or I grew up in a conservative home. What if I'm the talker in the conservative home? What would they say about me? Everybody's going to push me away. What if I love to wear big earrings? You can see the kind of earrings I wear. I love to wear very, very unique pieces of earrings. And so I don't have quite a lot of jewelry because I'm very picky. I don't like wearing everything. Okay. I like to wear earrings that are standard. And this is me. Okay. This is me. Okay. Someone says they are not hearing. Can everyone hear me? Am I clear? Am I audible? Just to be sure that it's not from my end. Okay. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yes. So, fear of rejection. If you start being afraid of what other people will think, see, let me tell you, I have been here. In fact, let me tell you how serious it is. I'm going to take off my glasses. Okay. This is not drama. I just want to show you how serious I am. I've been in this place where I was afraid what people would think about me. I was so afraid of what everyone would say if I said I wanted to be a therapist and do that. It was hard for me. Thank God I have a resilient spirit. I don't know where I got it from, maybe from my dad or my mom, but I always was afraid of what if I say this and would they laugh at me? Will they do this? What if this is what I like? What if this is what I like? It was so serious. And because of that rejection, I lost a lot of opportunities. Thank God, God is faithful and he's able to bring opportunities over and over again. I would have lost out a lot in life if I did not deal with my fear of rejection. There are things that are waiting for you to explore and take, but you are afraid of being rejected. Do you know that the same people who are going to reject you are the same people that will celebrate you when you start doing well in that thing you choose? I'll leave it at that. So at the end of the day, don't be afraid of rejection. Those can hinder you from discovering yourself. Find out who you really are. Those things in you were not put there by mistake. They were there for a reason. They are there for a reason. You love what you love for a reason. You are who you are for a reason, okay? Not the negative parts, but there are things about you that stand you out. Discover it. Another hindrance to self-discovery is your personality. So, for example, some people have personalities that are laid back. Okay, we're not going to go deep into this because this is a whole conversation, right? There are people who have personalities that allow them stay, they are quiet, they don't like to talk, they like to be at the back. They have a lot to say, but their personality they're always like that. There are people who are phlegmatic, there are people who are, just melancholy. They are very soft in their heart. So one little thing, they are already boom. So it stops them from discovering themselves. They are afraid of venturing out into things. Just that, what will happen? For example, I told my husband I would love to go bungee jumping. And he says, well, you are the only one bungee jumping. And I'm like, why are you afraid of heights? He's so tall. He's taller than me, right? But he's like, oh, I don't want to bungee jump. I'm going to skydive, but not bungee jumping. I'm like, what's the difference? If you can jump from an airplane, why can't you jump from somewhere and you're tethered? It's even better because there's something holding on to you. But for him, because of his personality, he calculates the dangers more than the pros. For me, because I'm optimistic, I calculate the fun before I think about the danger. You see? So it can differ, and this can hinder people from discovering themselves. So your personality can also be another reason. Now, another hindrance is not knowing how to. That's why you need to talk with myself or someone like me. And what I mean by that is see a mental health counselor or a therapist to walk you through, or a mental health coach, which I also am. Okay. We can walk you through these things. You don't have to do it alone. you don't know how to do it. If you don't know how to discover yourself, you don't have to do it alone. That's why you have me. That's why you have other mental health therapists in your zone, in your environment. You can also reach out to them. Okay. Environments can also be another reason, another hindrance. Maybe where you are is an area where you can't explore so much. Okay. That could be a hindrance. So you want to find a way to go to an environment that supports you growing and discovering yourself if you live in an environment. And this environment is not necessarily geographical. The environment could be geographical. It could also be in the space, like your family, your home. The way your environment is built is probably not built in such a way that you can explore and get to find out yourself. It could also be the environment in your mind. What do you think about yourself? What do you know about all those things? Can be hindrances, okay, to self-discovery. So let's move on to the next one. Are we learning something? I'm beginning to rush up, but because I don't want to keep us here longer than we should. So yeah, let's move to the next slide. So how to self-discover? Yes, we are. Awesome. Thank you, Mayan. So how do you self-discover yourself? The first thing is ask yourself questions. That's the first thing. So I'll tell you another Nigerian saying, and I'll say it the way we say it in Nigeria here in our pidgin English or vernacular, as they say, is person where they ask question, no they loss. Don't be confused. I'll take it little by little. Person where they ask question, no they lost. What it means is a person who asks questions never gets missing, okay? Never misses his way. If you don't know something, don't assume that you know it. Ask questions, okay? So find out what are those questions you need to ask. Your strengths and your what are the things you've noticed about yourself? What do you know about yourself? So for example, when I'm a highly sensitive person. So I didn't know that until a while later. Okay. I'm a highly sensitive person. So who is a highly sensitive person? Someone who, for example, is watching a movie where somebody is being maltreated like really bad, or someone is in love and then the guy is about to break up with her and then she's crying. I'll just start crying. Is it me they are breaking up with? No. But somehow the emotions are flowing to me and I just start crying. Or maybe we're in an argument and then you shout at me, or I get really angry, I start crying. Okay, so those are characteristics of a sensitive, highly sensitive person. I'm very mushy in my heart. We can look like we're hard guys on the outside, okay, but on the inside, we have really, really soft hearts. It's not as tough outside as it is in there, okay? So as much as you see me shouting and energetic, I also have my moments where I'm really, soft on the inside. Words get to me a lot, especially when I like you and, you say something to me. I'm not quick to move on from things. I find it difficult to move on from things. But because of therapy, I've been able to understand that people react differently. I've been able to understand how to communicate my feelings and how to also divide how I'm feeling and what is real. Because sometimes your feelings are not real. For example, you're crying over a heartbreak that you're seeing on TV. You're not the one whose heart is being broken. So why are you crying? So I've learned to differentiate that. Thank you, Isna, and all of that. So those are the questions you want to ask yourself. Find out what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. This helps you know who you are. Now, the next thing to do to discover yourself is challenge your comfort zone. Don't be comfortable with being comfortable. All right? Stop being comfortable with being comfortable. There is something about a comfort zone. It makes you happy. Does all those things. But somewhere on the inside, you know that, I don't want, this is not where I'm supposed to be. So how do you challenge your comfort zone? Start by trusting yourself. Yes, and you're like, I don't trust myself. I saw a few people say things like, I don't know myself enough. I don't do this enough. Start by trusting yourself. Trust yourself in a situation. If you know you can't trust yourself in that situation, then don't put yourself there. Start by trusting yourself. You need to learn to trust yourself. It's so important. Yeah, mine says, I used to bring emotions when I used to plan. Now I follow discipline. Yes, don't respond to any funny responses as everyone is. Yes. Oh, this is beautiful. This sums it up. Okay. We are not all on the same level. So you can't expect the same responses from everyone. That's so true. That's so true. So trust yourself. The other thing you can do in challenging your comfort zone is be odd. Be the ugly duckling. It's okay to be the ugly duckling. The ugly duckling ended up being the beautiful swan. It's okay to be odd. In secondary school, I wasn't okay being odd. But later on, I realized that being odd was good. It was okay. It was fine as long as I was me. So if you're different from your friends, then it's okay for you to be different from your friends. If they don't love you the way you are, then migrate and find people who would appreciate you for being odd. Okay? But I don't mean be odd in a negative way. Now, understand that you can be odd and be a bad influence and be a negative vibe. That's not what I mean. Being odd is being okay being yourself. If everybody else loves biryani and you just like amala, so amala is a Nigerian food, it's a Nigerian swallow. I keep bringing Nigerian food today. I don't know what's going on. I probably think I'm hungry. So, you know, um, yes, different doesn't mean wrong. Yes, So be odd. It's okay to be odd. If everybody likes this and you like something else, it's okay. It's fine. Be comfortable with that. Try new things. Don't eat at the same restaurant every day. Don't wear the same boots all the time. When you're going shopping, try some 6 inches. If you're a guy, try a new pair of jeans. Try a different style of shoe. Try a different haircut. Okay, I had dreadlocks before. If you had seen my previous flyers, you'd have seen that I had hair, and then now I have no hair. And that's because I've had that hair for 8 years. And I just thought to myself, why do I have to keep carrying the same hair for 8 years? Let me try something new. And so I cut my hair and I'm loving it. Totally loving it. Okay, so try new things. All right. Be curious. That's another way. Be curious. Just, what is this thing about? Don't hear things. So, example, I'll give you an example, a literal example. Every time I hear anything about, thank you, Janet. Every time I hear anything about Afghanistan or Pakistan, it's usually about the war. It's about what, the fighting. It's about the whole jihad thing. It's just a whole lot of war and everything. I honestly never thought in a million years that I was going to find people or meet people who were this sweet and amazing and just outrightly good people and just good people like myself. You get? I never thought about it being that, but I started becoming curious. I decided not to go with what I could hear in the news. I started asking questions. I started accepting a whole lot of requests from people from that area on my LinkedIn, which is probably part of the ways that I found a lot of you, some of you who are following me on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. It's because I decided not to stereotype. I was curious. Be curious. Don't take everything that is fed to you. Don't accept everything that is fed to you. Feel free to go and find things out for yourself. Okay, Tamina says some people are pretending to be different to make us feel bad and feel shamed. Like if I say, oh, I like this clothes, he or she will try and act different and say, no, it's childish, I don't like this. That's their business. It doesn't matter what they are doing. It's them. You don't need to care about that. If they feel like they are different from you, that's okay. If they feel like nobody has the right to tell you who you are. If you like something, you like it. If they don't like it, then they can go and sleep under the bridge, wherever it is. Okay. How to reduce self-doubt and stay consistent. Okay, so that's a question. Please hang on to that question. I would answer it once we're almost rounding up with the talk. So we'll answer that question. So let's go back. So be curious, okay? On the challenge your comfort zone, you have used failure as an advantage. When you fail at something, don't let it be the end of you. Don't let it determine what happens next. Everybody fails. Failure shows that you're trying something. So imagine if you never failed in your life. I would be super scared of you because I would know that you have not done anything. People who fail are people who are trying things. It's better to keep trying until you get it than to be comfortable where you are. So use failure as an advantage. Say, hey, I failed at this relationship. It's okay. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was him. Maybe it was her. But it's fine. It didn't work out. What did I learn from the relationship? What did I do wrong? Do I need some healing? Do I need to, try something else? Do I need to change my taste of men or change my taste of women? Find something. Okay, this marriage didn't work out. So what? It didn't work out. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It didn't work out, and I really would have loved for it to work out, but maybe there was something to learn. What did I do? What did he do? Just use it as an advantage. Let it be an added value to you and not destroy you. Now, the third stage of self-discovery is intentional living. So the first one is you've asked the question. So you know who you are, you have your identity. Now you are challenging your comfort zone. You're trying to come out of where you were into being here. Now, You have discovered the things you want to do. How do you live out this life? Intentional living. And what is intentional living? You start by forming a routine. Hopefully, sometime next year, we'll talk about routine and habits. We'll have this same set of monthly conversations, and we'll talk about how you can form a routine and create a habit that can help you achieve your goals or your life goals. Okay. So intentional living means form a routine. A routine is so important. Like, it's so important. If you don't have a routine as a person, in fact, let me tell you, you have a routine. You just don't know because it's an unconscious routine. Okay. So build a routine that allows you, captures your day, and helps you go through the day without being scattered. Okay, so Tamina says, and the funny thing is, sometimes if I say this milk is white, they will say no, it's black, because they want to act different to become. That's them. You don't need to listen to them. It's like you're trying to please them every time. You don't please them. You don't please other people. You see what? Other people project who they are on you. They are not comfortable with who they are. They are also trying to be different. So they are projecting that on you. So don't let it disturb you, okay? So under intentional living, we have embody positive thinking. Learn to think positive. Don't always think everything is terrible. Oh, let's try this. Oh no, I have heard this about this. It's bad. It's terrible. Embody positive thinking. Think positive. Even when something terrible happens to you, think positive about it. Like, okay, this was a bad thing, but what did I learn? Okay, what do I do differently? Oh, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have known that this person is. Think positively. Embody positive thinking. Another one is choose a suitable lifestyle. Tamina, this answers your question. Choose a lifestyle that suits you, not a lifestyle that other people want. Because see, at the end of the day, you will be alone. You would have to answer for yourself. Any decision you make, people will talk about it. There is no decision in life you make that no one will not talk about. Every decision. The only reason why they would support you is if they see that you like what you're doing. That's just it. So choose a lifestyle that suits you, not a lifestyle that suits your friends or your family members or where you're coming from. A lifestyle that suits you and adds impact to your life and the people around you. Okay. And then the last one under intentional living is create intentional lifestyle. Create habits, form habits that are sustainable. Form habits. You want to become wealthy. Do you have the right habits? Do you have the right habits? Are you doing the right things? Do you have the right habits? Those things are so important. So after you have gone through these 3 stages, it sounds very easy, but these stages, I tell you, I had a session, a self-discovery session. It lasted for, I think, about 15 sessions. Yes. I just walked you through it in God knows how many minutes. But when I'm having counseling or therapy sessions with my clients, this sometimes, for some people, it takes 20 sessions. For some people, it takes 10. For some people, it's 15. So it depends, because everybody is different, because we can stay on one question for a long time. We can stay on strengths and weaknesses for like 3 or 4 sessions because we're analyzing every single thing. So as much as I just ran through it, I know you're wondering, this is a lot. How do I do this? Which is why you can enroll for therapy sessions. I offer that. You can enroll for therapy sessions. It doesn't matter where you are, so you can enroll for therapy sessions, and then you can get some coaching as well. If you rather coaching, it's also important that you get that. Trust me, when you come out, you will be amazing. And now the next question I'd like to ask you is, what is your next move? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. This is the question I'm asking you now. What is your next? Said about self-discovery, how important it is. What do you want to do? So hey, this is where we are. And I think thank you for listening to my practice rehearsal TEDx talk and my UN conference talk. It's time for you to ask your questions, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Zara. Thank you. Yeah, it's time for you to ask your question. So I'm just going to scroll back and Mahin, can I go ahead and answer the question you sent from Javeria Hassan? I don't know if that's correct. Okay, sure. Okay, so his question, let me find it. Where is it now? How do I reduce self-doubt and stay consistent with new things? The goal is not to the goal the goal is not to try new things all the time. That's not the goal. Different personalities will do different things. Now, trying new things is something that if you can set it as a goal, okay, you can say, hey, I want to, in the aspect of hanging out, for example, I want to try a new restaurant. In the aspect of food, I want to make something else from another country or a different culture entirely. In the aspect of reading, I want to read a different book from what I'm used to reading. In the aspect, so you can take different areas of your life and just try new things. Okay, you don't need to be consistently trying new things. It's just for you to pick different areas of your life and just try something different and explore something different, and also try to do, there are people who say things like, I'm okay where I am, I don't want to be anywhere. No, try to be different, try to integrate with other people. Okay, so that's the thing. Now, how to reduce self-doubt? The best antidote for self-doubt is self-discovery. If you go through a self-discovery session or coaching session, you would be able to find out who you are. That way you won't doubt yourself, because I can't tell you, there's no magic. You must go through that self-discovery purpose. You must work with a counselor, a therapist, or a coach to help you get through that journey, because there are a lot of roadblocks that you have garnered from when you were born up until now. There's something we call conditioning. You have been conditioned by several things. Several things. You have been conditioned by a whole lot, right? So at the point where you are now, let's say you're 25 or you're 40, you've had 40 years or 25 years of doing things the same way. Of course, when you now start finding out that life is not what they taught you while you were growing up, there's a lot of doubts that comes in. So you want to go through the process of reconditioning yourself to be able to accommodate the you that you're now discovering and the things that you want to do. So I hope that answers your question, Javeria. Zara says it was amazing. Thank you. I really love your personality. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tamina, my next move is to be really, really the person who says, I don't care. Yes, that's good. But Tamina, remember, you can do that without knowledge. It's just like someone who says, you know what, I want to become a carpenter. This is what I'm made to do. And the person goes straight ahead to start using the tools. And then while using the tools, you get hurt and you get caught. And then you go back to that stage of self-doubt. Like, am I sure I'm meant to do this? You must get some guidance. Get some guidance, okay? Don't do it on your own. Get some guidance. Go through a self-discovery process. Go through a self-discovery coaching. If you have to pay for it, pay for it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to work out for you the way you want it to. At the end of the day, it's up to you. But saying you want to do it by yourself, no. Find a community of people that have to do with self-discovery. Go on the internet, spend your time on YouTube, find out, how do I discover myself? Stuff on self-discovery, a whole lot you can do, but don't do it by yourself. Don't just go out, but start by taking little baby steps. Okay. Hamda says, I have a doubt about self-discovery. Self-discovery means to challenge yourself according to the strengths or you can do it, but feel not much passionate about doing it. Okay, so Hamda, I don't really understand the question, because you said you have a doubt about self-discovery. Self-discovery means to challenge yourself. No, self-discovery means to discover yourself, not to challenge yourself. Before you start challenging yourself, you want to discover yourself, okay? So discover yourself. Discovering yourself is not, it's a journey. Discovering yourself is, do I even know who Hamda is? What are the things that make Hamda him? What are the things that make me this? Why do I behave the way I behave? Are my behaviors right? Do I have the right people around me? Am I achieving the right things? If there are habits about me I don't like, okay, so why do I have those habits? That's what self-discovery is discovering yourself and now mirroring yourself that you have discovered against the person that you really want to be. And then asking yourself to say, okay, if this is who I want to be and this is where I am, how do I get here? Is it even achievable? Can I go from here? That's what self-discovery is. It's not just about challenging yourself to do new things. It's not just about exploring new things. It's not just about taking new opportunities. No, it is about knowing who you are. So you can better know. For example, both of us could be on the same boat or here right now. Somebody else is headed in a different direction, but we're on the same train. It's up to me. When I discover myself, I can know that in the next four stops, I'm going to come down from the train. Somebody else is going to drop in the next 2 stops. Somebody else is going to drop in the next 10 stops. Self-discovery helps you know where to stop and where not to stop. It's not just about all of that. And if for some reason you feel like what's it called, for some reason you feel like you don't love yourself, you're not passionate, you don't want to do a lot of things, you may be dealing with either burnout or depression, okay, and you want to see a professional for that, you can reach out to me and we can have a conversation, or reach out to mine. There might be other people in your specific geographical area that can help you sort that out. Either ways, there's always help for you, so reach out to someone. I hope I was able to answer that question. Hi Susan, oh, you joined later. So Isna says, our close friends, even some of our family members, also demotivate us. So how do we overcome this? It's very simple. If you're an adult listening to me right now, it means that you're old enough to do certain things by yourself. You're not under the direct, covering, or should I say, you're not being cared for by your parents, okay? Leave your family members alone. Everybody's going to answer his name. You are Isna. Even if you share the same son name, there's no other Isna in your house. And even if they were, they are not you. You must understand that. No, forget about looking for external motivation. Motivate yourself. If you can't internally motivate yourself, that's why you're on WomenAscension. There are women here. You can post a question to Mayin. You can ask a question on the group and we would answer you. I see that a lot of us don't use the group to ask questions, but that is your opportunity. You are in a community where you can ask any question about something you're going through. You don't have to wait until another month for us to have this conversation, to share your question. You can always ask. You can always ask. Okay, so leave your family members alone. What I mean by that is let them not be the source of your motivation. Motivate yourself. When you become something, when you start doing things because you love it, it's easier for people to understand you and align with you. And I said it before, you are not jollof rice. You can't please everybody, okay? You are not Nigerian jollof rice. So it's okay to stand out. Doesn't mean you should throw your family away or insult them. That's not what I'm saying. Do not use insultive words on your family. Do not throw anything in their faces. However, plead with them to respect your privacy and to also mind the way they share things with you, okay? And basically, that's it. If you need more explanation, I can do that for you on the group, okay? Just reach out. I'm on the group, so if you reach out to me on the group, I would also explain, all right? Susan says, are there lists to explore in the self-discovery journey? There's no list. Okay, you joined late. Okay, so you can go back and listen to this. Mahin has said earlier, there's always a post recording, right, of the session. So you can go on YouTube and watch the recording from the beginning so that you can understand what we've spoken about and you can get it. Okay, that way you have the context. Because right now, I think you just joined, so you didn't hear much of what we said. But yeah, you can always go back and watch it again on YouTube. If you're on the group, you're definitely going to get access to it, okay? Zara says, my next move is to be the person that everyone says you can't, but I show them that I can do everything that I want. Right now, the song I want to sing, partial with no breaks, I'm invincible. I win every single race. I'm unstoppable. I think that's what I said. I don't need batteries to race. Whatever the song is, I'm sure you know the song, okay? So you are unstoppable, and that's what it is, okay? So go there, go get it, but make sure that as you try to be that person, don't do it because you're trying to prove anything to them. You don't have anything to prove to anybody except yourself. So do it for you. Don't do it for them. All right? Nima says, can you use people's opinions from your actions to discover yourself? Not entirely. Because people will always, remember, people project themselves on you, what they think about themselves on you. It takes a very matured person and someone who is, has discovered his or herself and is able to reach out and talk to people to be able to point out a few things. However, you are the person who needs to go and discover herself. You don't need people's opinions. People's opinions are as different as black and white. So if 5 people tell you that you are black,
Let's wait for Miss Tessy. She will be joining us soon.
Hi, sorry, I jumped out. I don't know what happened. I just jumped out of the call, and now I've missed all the messages, so I can't respond. So if Mayin, if you can still, if you were here all
Yes.
through, which I'm sure you were, you can read out the questions to me. I can't see them anymore because I was out.
All right, let me just share with you as well, and let me read it. Okay.
Okay.
Wow, Tessie, there's so many questions. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
all right. I think I should start from here. If I'm wrong, please correct me, Tessie. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's question from in Isna. Isna is saying that our close
Yeah.
friends, even some of our family members, also demotivate us. So how we can overcome this?
Okay, yeah, I think I answered that already. I
This
told her
one?
already. I think that was the last question I answered. Yes.
That's great. Okay. So are there lists to
Yes.
explore in the self-discovery journey? The question is from Susan.
Yes, I told her, I mentioned to her to go look at the YouTube. She just joined, so she has to go watch the whole thing from the beginning to answer her question.
Okay, so that means
So
I will.
Susan, you can just go watch the YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. So Aima is saying, ma'am, how to believe in myself, how to make me think that I can do everything.
Well, there's no pill for that. There's no injection for that. There's no IV for that. The only way is to just believe in yourself. And the only way to believe in yourself is to know yourself. If you know what you can do, then you know what you can do. If I was to sit on a race, if I was to ask to race with Usain Bolt right now, I will not. I absolutely will not. Where am I going to start running from? I'm not an athlete. I'm not going to do that because I know myself. Okay. So when you know yourself, you are not in a hurry to go into things that do not. So for you to be able to motivate yourself or be that person, you must go and discover yourself, which is why I'm saying go for self-discovery coaching, go for self-discovery, you know. I have something coming up sometime in the early 2025. It's going to be a special class of 10. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be coaching a few people, 10 people through self-discovery. We're going to be going through a self-discovery journey where you get hands-on, straight up breaking it down for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a paid webinar. Once it's ready, I'm going to share that with Mayan, and then she'll get that across to you for you to participate in. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect, Tessie. All right. So after that, there's a lot of thanks. Like, thank you so much for this very important event.
Yeah.
Oh my heart, thanks. Beautiful singing. Oh, people love your voice too. And Teresa is giving the name of the song. And then thanks so much, ma'am. Most important Zoom meeting. Okay. And then Fakhria was saying, sound, and then you joined us. So that's the whole lump
Okay.
sum
Okay.
feedback of everything. Okay. Okay. So, Tessie, for
Yes.
now, I have a question.
Yeah.
Um, I have a
Yeah.
question regarding building something inside you towards consistency. Because when we are in self discovery mode, when we are not consistent,
Yeah.
so we are standing at ground zero again, again and again and again. So, how we can overcome this? We cannot hear you, dear Tessie. You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Ah,
I didn't
thank you
know
so
it was
much. Thank
muted.
you so much.
So, I'm saying that the question is, are you asking how do you stay consistent even while you're discovering yourself? Is that the question? Or
Yes,
could you repeat it
yes.
again?
Consistency. How the
Consistency.
all of us stay consistent towards our self-discovery journey, and we don't give up. Eventually, we give up, and we normalize ourselves by just staying in the process, which is given to us. It's
Mm,
not designed for us. It's given to us. You have to follow it, but not designed what our
okay.
heart says to follow. So this is a very difficult journey,
Mm,
Tessie. We both learned at a very difficult stage after going through a lot. So
yes.
how we can make them realize that this is the time that they can redefine themselves and they can stay consistent on it and good things will come to them.
Mm. Okay, so this is a very deep question, and it kind of just sums up everything we're trying to say, which is the core of self-discovery. It's not very easy to discover yourself in a challenging environment, especially in an environment where an environment that doesn't motivate you to do anything, and you don't know where to start from, you don't know how to go. One of my go-to is, first of all, I always say, have a conversation with yourself. There's something about being honest with yourself. Sometimes we say things like we're honest with ourselves, we're being true to ourselves, but we're lying. So we're lying to ourselves. Okay. And when you lie to yourself, you tend to believe the lie because your brain believes everything you tell it. It doesn't know the difference between wrong and right, yesterday and today. Whatever you tell your brain, whatever you tell your mind is what it believes. So you want to first of all start by having an honest conversation with yourself. Do you like where you are right now? Are you comfortable where you are right now? Is this where you want to be in life currently? Is there a goal? Is there somewhere you want to head to? And when you're done having that honest conversation, you want to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to be this person I want to be? This dream I have, this goal, do I have what it takes? Okay, so the answer is no, I don't. Okay, so how do I find what it takes? How do I find what it takes to discover myself? How do I find what it takes to live up to this goal? The next thing you start doing is, okay, what help do I have around me to help me, you know, create the habit or get the resources I need? One of the greatest tools you have is a community. And there are communities everywhere these days. Mine, you and I have never seen. Yet we have had conversations. We are working together.
Yes,
You've
true.
never seen me yet. We work together so well. Why?
Mm.
Because there's a community where I can share what I feel, where I can say what I want. If I had said something that was inconsistent with your values, that would have been the last day I would be speaking here. So you have communities where you basically share things. Reach out to those communities and say, hey, this is what I've been thinking about. This is what I'm going through. I need some help. You never know where the help will come from. Don't feel like you're burdening anybody because consistency is us holding each other's hands through it all. You can't do it by yourself. You may start today. All these things I've said, what I've just done is I've poured fuel, all right, into your body, and then I have lit it with fire. So you're burning right now. You're like, yes, Tessie, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be that. But you're going to burn out because the fuel is going to finish burning. But you need community to keep pouring in the fuel and keep the fire burning. So keep asking questions. Optimize your Instagram. Mine, I can't say this enough. Please change what you see on your social media platforms.
Oh, I do that.
Just find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so easy. All you need to do is start searching for the kind of content you want to see on Instagram. When you come to my Instagram, you can instantly kind of tell based on the algorithm what I like to watch. You see a
Mm.
lot of therapy. You see a whole lot of fun stuff. You see a lot of maybe traveling. You see a lot of marriage and something there. You just know this is the kind of person. So change what you see on social media. There's a lot of junk out there. You don't need all the junk. What are your interests? Start searching for your interests. You know how social media works is the more you search for those things you like, they start suggesting them to you. They
Mm.
start suggesting people to you for you to follow. The same thing with LinkedIn. The more I search in a particular area, one day LinkedIn can just say, oh, we have suggestions of people you should follow. And that's
Mm.
how you keep doing it until you're able to reach out and get it. So building consistency is, first of all, talking to yourself. Second of all, realizing what you need. Third of all, have a community and talk at that community.
Mm.
Be present in your community. Don't just be a part of a community and be quiet.
Mm.
Talk in the community, ask questions, and then fourth of all, make sure that you're seeing the right things on your social media. If you spend all your time there, then make sure you're seeing the right things that can push you, and just take it one step at a time. You will cry some days. You'll be angry some days. Some days you want to give up. But when you feel like that, reach out to the community and say, hey, today I feel like it's all over. There will always be someone to hold you up. That's what we're there for. I believe so much in community.
That's
And I
true.
think that's what I think can help.
That's true. That's so true, Tracy. And also one thing that I have realized like throughout my lifetime that once I use the word validation. Be you are a successful entrepreneur,
Mm,
you're a struggling entrepreneur, you're a student, you're looking for career. If you know exactly what you want from your life, even you don't know it, but in your head there's something, you daydream about it. That means you want that thing. You wanted to have that,
yeah.
life ahead. So you are working towards that every
Yeah.
time you dream about it. But once you start discussing
Yeah.
your dream and purpose, what do you want with the people who are not the right one to understand what you want, you're actually getting and seeking wrong answers. So you should know exactly with whom you have to seek your answers as well, with whom you have to share everything. So these are the
Yeah.
little points that you must take care of it, because then you get disappointed that maybe you're not doing the right thing to yourself. So it's not idealism, maybe daydreaming, but approach how you want your life to be, who is the true circle for you. Everyone is different, everybody is different, no one's same. So any more questions, my dear team, with Miss Tessie? Okay, so if we are good, I think we should wind up. Thank you so much, Miss Tessie, for your time. And we would like to connect with you one more time in the coming month. And we have our WhatsApp group. If you have any questions, we will definitely ask you there. Thank you so much for your time. Take care, everyone. Catch you guys soon.